new wallpaper,
a new president,
and that's what we're talking about today.
Let's
roll. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rob and Ann Real Estate Show. I'm Angela O'Hare, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
And I'm Rob Hau, the Rockstar Realtor.
Yay. And welcome to episode 11. We are cruising along. And we wanted to showcase our creation that we did a few weeks back. How do you like our wallpaper?
New wallpaper.
It was peel and stick from Amazon, and it took us an hour or two, which we recorded all of it.
Yeah.
And we will one day use that as filler for the Ann and Rob, or the Rob and Ann show, right?
Yeah, we'll unveil how we did it.
Yes.
I mean, we just kind of slapped it up there, and it turned out pretty okay. If you take a little bit more time than us, maybe it'll turn out even better. But I don't know if you can even tell. We know where the imperfections are.
Right,
but,
right. So let us know in the comments what you think of our new wallpaper.
Yay.
And we got our little fingers behind us.
Fingers.
Fingers.
We got hands. We got the...
So soon we will be changing out probably the picture, get some really cool artwork back here. But, you know, slowly but surely, we've been very busy. Just haven't had time to really work on the studio as much as we would like.
We're hanging by the skin of our teeth sometimes.
Yes. It's so busy right now.
That's great. When you're busy, you take it.
Take it.
Roll with the punches.
That's right.
As a Talking Heads song would be.
And we are talking heads, so that makes sense.
So we are going to go right into, and we haven't done this in a couple of weeks, the picture of the week.
The picture of the week, and boy, do we have a doozy.
Yes.
If you had to wait for it.
Well,
let us know if we should continue with the picture of the week or it's something we should just axe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're axing you. Should we axe it?
We'll let Mr. Rob go over this picture of the week.
Well, this picture of the week right here, just in case you're wondering why we chose this and we think it's so amazing as a picture of the week. Well, look in that little corner there. And
bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, bottom right-hand corner. And you will see, actually, is it going to be right-handed? It might be. Yeah, it would be right-handed. It's a plate of cocaine made into lines.
Maybe it's sugar making it look like it's cocaine.
Yeah, was this a setup? I don't know. It kind of doesn't, I don't know. But either way, probably not a selling point.
No.
This picture of the week comes to us via an agent in Florida, actually, that I follow on Facebook. They follow me too. They found this photo and made a very funny comment, which is that if you hire them, they'll make sure your cocaine is cropped out of the picture.
And in this picture, you can see the purse of the agent and then also a little styrofoam cup.
You got a beer can out there. I think that's a beer can.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah, there's a beer can. Or it could be a Red Bull or something like that.
I mean, they could be sending messages to like a Pablo Escabar type of guy that I'll trade you my house for the right amount of drugs. Hey,
never know.
We can't broker that deal, but we pride ourselves on doing a lot of deals and brokering a lot of deals, but not that one.
Nope. So next we're going to go over the tip of the week. And since Rob and I, for the last 2 episodes, we're doing new home build tours of the freestanding inventory homes, we thought we would offer some couple suggestions when you're buying a brand new home.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. The number one, when you are in the process of buying a brand new home, do not visit any builder without your real estate agent on your first visit.
You want representation.
Yes.
A lot of people think, you know what, I don't need an agent for this. I can roll in. And you know what? The builder would be happy for you to do that.
Yeah.
And there's reasons why. The builder, why wouldn't the builder want an agent involved?
Because the builder's agent is representing now the builder and the buyer. So it's kind of like a dual agency.
It's basically a dual agency.
Right.
They feel that that gives them some advantage and makes it easier for them because they won't have as many maybe questions or concerns about anything, right? So
us agents, having experience selling in the new home builds, know what type of questions to ask. Oftentimes, we may be able to see if there are incentives involved, but right now, builders aren't offering a lot right now.
Not a lot of incentives right now, but there are other reasons for sure to have an agent with you I mean, there's a number of different milestones that you're going through in the process of purchasing a home, and you need to be aware of them. Otherwise, you might not get told some of those things by the builder's agent.
Right, and we're free to represent you. It's like, going to court without having a lawyer. You want to have a representation with you to be another party on your side, to look out for you, to make sure timelines are staying in place. We also communicate with the title company because oftentimes one hand does not know what the other hand is doing.
And some people think, well, it because the builder is paying a commission that it's costing. No, that's all factored into their sales. You're not going to go walking into a builder and get a better deal because you didn't bring an agent. Right. So why would you leave an agent out of it? Why would you not have your own representation? That is the number one thing I can say. You're not going to get a better deal from a builder without an agent. So why would you go unrepresented? You're only going to be more protected. You're only going to have more understanding. Why wouldn't you make sure that you are represented?
I mean, 100%
free, 90 free.
I mean, it doesn't make sense because you're just causing headaches because you're going to have to keep track of everything yourself.
Right. And, people don't realize sometimes a home, even though it's brand new, it's still going to have some things that need to be dealt with. Right. And I can't tell you how often, and look, builders are good. They're not trying to sneak things past on people, but stuff happens. Sometimes you don't notice it. And even just having a set of experienced eyes on that home as it's getting built and the understanding of what the process is, having reiteration of things to really just even more understanding, again, for free, you got to do it.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And then you've now got a relationship with an agent, ideally one that you can keep for life. That's how we work with our clients. We're looking to work with you for the rest of our career, or maybe as long as you're in Las Vegas. There's also another reason to have your agent involved. Because sometimes people don't realize they get kind of stuck in the vortex. And believe me, the builders are happy to have you in this vortex of, oh, my options are really limited to new builds.
Right.
And I think you would be remiss to not look at the entirety of what's in the market. And only one way to do that, with an agent.
And another thing, too, is good to have the agent representations when you're picking out your upgrades.
Yeah.
I mean, as listing agents, we know what sells, what people are looking for resale value. So when you buy your home, there's two things you don't want to go cheap. One is the kitchen, and two is the flooring.
And maybe I would even kitchen and bath and flooring.
Right, exactly.
The bathrooms you can get away with a little bit, but the more that you can put into the kitchen and bath, and your flooring for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, why in the wouldn't you have an agent?
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So next, we are going to go over the market update.
Updating. Market update.
Just FYI, we just released on this past Monday, our market update for October 2020 numbers on my channel. So we'll link it down below so you can get a little more detail what happened for last month.
We saved a little something for you right now.
Exactly.
But there's more there. So.
Yes. The last week from November 1st through November 7th, there were 670 single-family homes that sold. Compared to the week before, it's down 97 homes, which, end of October, what can you say about that?
It's just a little ebb and flow. It's not a big deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're still seeing really consistent sales. And maybe a decrease would have to do with how much available, what was available at the time,
Right.
So people we have clients that have decided to, be a little bit more patient at times, and that's a factor.
Right.
They're not finding what they're looking for, so they're going to wait. Sometimes that's good, but always be ready. Be like a spider in the web.
And it's been a while since we have done the low and high, so we thought we'd bring it back to this episode since we are actually in our studio instead of on location. That way we can have a little more to talk about. Right?
I get low, I get high. Let's bring it.
All right. You go to the low, I go to the high.
I don't know why I always get the low. I really don't. But
you get the short end of the stick.
All right, so the lowest priced home sold for, get it, $135,000. I find it very interesting because they originally listed at $211,800 to be exact. It's interesting because that is a massive decrease.
Yes.
Did half of the home disappear?
It wasn't in best of shape, and I think they probably had it overpriced because it was on the market for, 76 days?
Yeah, that's a long time in that price range.
Yeah.
You just don't see it. So absolutely way overpriced. Probably needed every bit of discount put back into the home.
Right.
So now it can sell it to $11,800 once it gets fixed up. Whoever bought it.
Yeah. There was no pictures to indicate the condition of the inside of the home. It was just one outside picture. So the highest price home for the week of November 1st to the 7th was, you ready for this? $6 million sold in the Summerlin community called The Summit.
Love
and
it.
it was originally listed for $6 million. So it got its asking price and it was only on the market for 13 days. Pretty big home.
13 days.
Actually, it wasn't that big of a home considering the amount of money it sold for. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, a little over 3,200 square feet with a lot size of 36,000. But it sold at $1,800, a little over $1,800 per square foot.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's the Summit. And obviously it's upgraded through the nose.
Yeah, and there was only 2 pictures in the MLS, and Rob has a theory on that.
Yeah, so there probably were more pictures on the MLS, but they were removed for maybe privacy purposes. Sometimes the seller says, yank those pictures off as soon as we get a sale going, or could be for appraisal reasons, that they just want to make sure that appraiser comes out and sees things in person, gets that firsthand impression of the home, rather than having something where they're looking at online, because the appraiser will always go online and look at the information before they visit the property.
Right.
That can leave an impression on them. Sometimes it can make them think, why in the heck is this property, and you already mentioned it, $1,800 a square foot, that is astronomical, but what's in the home? So if I'm that agent, I want to make sure, and I'm pointing out in person every little detail of why that home is worth what it is. And I'm going to think it is because it sold it so quickly.
Yeah, in 13 days.
Yeah. For that price range to sell that quickly, it probably is actually a good deal, even though it looks like...
And it was a conventional loan, so they probably paid part cash and part...
Oh, sure. Lots of cash involved, but still getting a loan. And I just think that what that is high on the hog living. I mean, you don't need this huge... there are people who are reasonable. I don't need a huge place. I just want one that's laced with gold.
Well, this is 3,200 square foot house. So it's not a big house.
So it's laced. It's laced with gold and diamonds.
My house is 3,300 square foot. So.
Yeah. So this thing is decked out to the nines.
It must have a lot's 36,000 square feet.
The lot is huge. So it's got a lot of outdoor awesomeness too.
And it's the Summit. It's a very exclusive
hoity-toity
community, higher than the Ridges in Summerlin. It's a guard-gated, luxury, custom by Land Home Design built.
Some very famous people live there and also are moving there. Celine Dion has been building a place there for quite a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. And it's going to be a really amazing place.
Can't wait to see what it looks like. Maybe we can feature that.
It'd be sure nice.
I doubt it.
Right away, maybe not.
So there were 17 homes in the luxury market that sold last week compared to the week before, 22. Again, just a flat week.
Slight fluctuation.
Yep.
And but what we're seeing is still a good number. We had, as a matter of fact, it's still very consistent because we had 18, 22, and now it's 22, 17. So staying right in line. Exactly. And who knows? We could have had another 18, but we had, a delay, or we had one that closed a little sooner than they thought. So,
exactly. Yeah, true. Very true. Good thought. This week, we will not have any special guests due to time constraints, and our special guest couldn't make it today. And we didn't have a feature listing, so we thought we would just go straight to In the News.
In the news. In the news. What the heck is happening Ding, 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 in the news.
So a lot has happened in the news, and it's been almost a week since voting, elections, and we kind of this weekend learned what?
Yes, we have a new president.
Tentatively, kind of.
Prediction, one of our guests, who is a psychic, usually only it predicts real estate events.
Right.
But because Ange challenged him,
right,
that she thought, you thought Trump would win.
I thought Trump would win due to the fact of the term president. There's not been too many 4-year term presidents.
Right, one-term president.
One-term president, yes.
Yeah. So Prey was right, and at least it looks that way, unless some another astounding event in 2020 happens, which would be if the courts somehow find some problem and they remove it from Joe Biden. He has been called out by the media, at least, that he is the winner of the election.
Right.
And that is, it obviously, it was quite a turmoil for this week.
Surprisingly, there was no riots that I know of or heard of.
I mean, surprisingly to some, surprisingly not really to others, but there's been celebrations in the street instead, you know. So people are kind of ignoring those C-word restrictions right now, and they're happy, they're elated, they want to get out there, and then they're doing this whole thing where it's like, you know, I got the mask on, not really.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, with that being said, we know what's going to happen. There's going to be a spike because the whole voting period, I'm sure people were staying distance and putting the mask on, but there's a correlation to seeing the spike in cases related to the election period. Yeah, probably. I mean, that was what they were trying to avoid with the ballots. I'm going to come out on a limb, though, and say that the whole mail-in ballot thing was a terrible idea to do in this of all years. And even though it might have just worked out, you know, ultimately just fine, we'll see. But we probably wouldn't have had this turmoil had we not done that. And I feel like that was a little unnecessary. Yeah, but do you think absentee ballot is different than a mail-in ballot, right? It is different because. So do you think the absentee ballot is a better thing? The difference with an absentee ballot is that you request it and then it's sent to you. See. In this case, they just sent out millions of ballots, and people have a lot of problems with it. Look, I just to me, it was unnecessary. It was so at the time that they were doing it, they thought, you know, we're going to avoid people standing in line, and there are a lot of elderly people. There are a lot of people that have pre-existing conditions. But in my opinion, those people could have been, instead the message could have been said, please make sure to get your absentee ballot if you're in that situation. Or have more polling stations, you know, especially for the elderly. Sure, have more availability. Instead, they actually had less polling stations, and they just sent out all these ballots. Now, some people will say, well, now you're creating an extra step for people, and they wouldn't have voted. Maybe so. Maybe so. But this was the highest record voting since, it beat 2016. And that's actually you're making a point for me, which is, I think, it's the highest record. People, a lot of them on both sides would have gone through walls to go and vote. You know, they would have done whatever it takes to go and vote. I'm not sitting here siding with any side. What I'm saying is, was it necessary first time in my lifetime and first time in really anybody that I know that's alive's lifetime that we've had to wait on these kind of, results from an election, since really there was one time, obviously with Bush Gore, but that was one state, and it was a pretty, it was isolated. Yeah, it was Florida. Ironically, Florida went smooth like a baby's butt. No problem at all. And Florida always has issues. Probably because they've had issues. They actually had it down pat. Right. But again, my thing isn't to say that there was gerrymandering or whatever you want to call it. It's just, was this necessary? Right. And I think it's funny that Nevada was one of the last states to report. When we're a huge state, but when it comes to population, very small. So maybe the total state 3 or 4 million. Right. So was that necessary? Right. Is it now necessary to have people questioning and ultimately, I think it degrades the election process. I think it makes people have less trust. And look, if your side won,
you're happy as a lark. I mean, that's the way it goes, right? I mean, people are generally going to overlook a lot of things when I see it in football when people, their team wins and there was a bad call on the other side that kind of helped that win. People that won on the winning side are like,
yeah, hey, tough luck.
It's kind of the same thing. And again, I just kind of feel like it just feels unnecessary to be having these questions. And when you're making our elections questionable, I think in the long run, we all lose. America likes to know that there are checks and balances, and that check and balance is going to happen. The Senate was not lost by the Republicans, and in the House, the Republicans actually gained seats. If you don't want Joe Biden's whole, everything that he wanted to do,
right?
Well, then you wanted to make sure you had a Congress that wasn't going to go in there and just sign off on everything.
Right.
If it was all Democrats, everything that they want would be able to be done, at least in that first 2-year period. And we may have a very quiet presidency for 4 years, because if you can't get a lot done, and I mean, that may be exactly what a lot of people want.
Anyway, that's enough about that. We don't really like talking about politics, so it's probably the last time you'll hear it. And thank you so much for watching.
Oh, and as always,
no, thank you so much for watching. Rock on.
Rock on.
Nope.
Ah, shucks. No, but seriously, folks, I need to look at these numbers because I didn't review them. Yeah. Well, hey.
As always, if you like our channel, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, share with a friend, and what? Smang it. Smash and subscribe.
Smash it and bang it.
And thank you so much for watching.
Rock on.
And do it peacefully.
And we'll see you on the next one.